This is my Chunkman account. With a mere chunk in his possession and a dream in his heart, he began his quest to conquer the vast expanse of old-school RuneScape's landmass. He started his journey from humble beginnings in Lumbridge, but with an arsenal of custom tasks, he has faced and overcome countless challenges. His journey has taken him through the trials of total level grinding, epic quests, mysterious clues, and perilous encounters with fearsome bosses, all in order to unlock new chunks of land. Now halfway through the journey, the road ahead may be paved with even greater challenges, but with each obstacle overcome, he moves closer to his goal. So welcome to the second half of Chunkman TDK. Last episode we added 7 chunks to our map by completing Olaf's quest, killing all Dagonoth Kings once and 2 of them up to 50 KC, and last chunk we unlocked was by achieving 120 combat tasks completed. The actual chunks we unlocked were a small desert island, the wilderness chunk with the dark wizards, the wise chunk, the ice pot chunk, the Keldegrim entrance chunk, the mountain camp, and the island of stone. Time to continue with everything we've unlocked with the chunks we've gotten from the Dagonoth Kings. And next up is the giant dwarf, now that we have the entrance to the dwarf kingdom. And actually for this, I was kind of hoping that we would unlock another chunk, because there's a very interesting way to actually get here. So if we go through this tunnel to the very end, there's actually an entrance over here as well. You cannot go up as it's too slippery, but if we would have unlocked the Trollwise mountain, we could have gotten there from the Troll Stronghold. I think it's through this cave, and then go up, go down with the sled, and then go down to the very end, and then we would get here. So that would be a very interesting way to get here, but unfortunately or fortunately we got the entrance another way. But let's get in and let's start the giant dwarf quest. We are venturing into the dwarven city Keldegrim, and we need to get there by boat. And the first thing we are going to pass before getting into the city is a mighty statue of one of their past kings. There's something wrong with the boat though, and well, there goes the statue. We were taken captive, but the commander of the Black Guards, Veldeban, doesn't really seem to mind that the statue hasn't broken, as they haven't been ruled by a king for a very long time, and the statue needed to be replaced anyway because it's very old. But as we were somewhat responsible for the destruction of the statue, he asks us to check in with the sculptor and see if we can actually help them rebuild the big statue. The sculptor needed some clothes together with the dwarven battle axe to make sure that his model is quite accurate. And for the battle axe we visited Turgo, and we get an option to immediately return to Keldegrim, which is very useful. And there we go. Now we can give Ricky, the sculptor's model, all of the items to make an accurate representation of what the statue should look like. Well, it seems like we have a statue but without a head. They apparently don't want to have a king's head, so we will have to go to the consortium, the ruling power here, to actually see what kind of head they want. The consortium is a group of people that have all kinds of different businesses within the city of Keldegrim. They don't seem to be able to get a consensus on what the head would look like. Everybody in the consortium wants their head on the statue, which is understandable, but we've joined the Yellow Fortune because it was the closest to the bank. So maybe with our push we can actually get the Yellow Fortune director's head on the statue instead. As we were helping with the rebuilding of the statue, we have gotten the vote to actually decide which is going to be the head. The Red Axe director is not happy about it, but all of the others seem to be happy about it. So our choice is the Yellow Fortune. And there we have it, the new statue with a new head on top of it. And that marks the end of the quest. We get 2 quest points for our troubles, together with 2500 mining, smithing and crafting experience, 1500 magic thieving and fire making experience. We're now up to 198 quest points, so 2 more and we get another block slot for Slayer, which is going to be useful. And we're definitely going to get there because we still have enough quests left to get there. Now, do we get any levels because of all of this experience? No. Okay, that was kind of to be expected with the levels we have at the moment. But that was the giant dwarf completed. That means we get another chunk for that. So let's go to our dashboard, complete it over there, and let's see what is going to be our new chunk. One more quest completed. The giant dwarf has been completed. That was our 117th quest for our 380th chunk. The last chunk we unlocked was the Island of Stone. There's a lot of water around it, so we could maybe get to the iceberg a bit sooner. But in general, there's a lot of water, so nothing really important for us as we are only interested in the landmass chunks. So let's have a look at which chunk we are going to get as a new one. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, we keep getting good ones. The Pescatores fishing colony, and I think that means we can now do Swan Song. But I'm not 100% sure if we have the prerequisites. I actually think we need 200 quest points, which we will get like in a bit. So that's actually going to be perfect, but I don't know if we have other quests missing for the prerequisite, so I will have to have a look at that. But yeah, the Pescatores fishing colony is a very good chunk. There's also a hard clue step here. It's a quest. It's, yeah, for the rest it's actually not that important. I think there's maybe some diary tasks in here. That might be a thing, but yeah, pretty happy with the unlock here. Apparently Swan Song will not be in the card for anytime soon because we need one small favor, which we are still missing again, also one chunk for, so that's going to be for somewhere in the future, and it's apparently 100 quest points, not 200. I knew there was some kind of quest point requirement, but it's only 100. While we are in the vicinity and we have unlocked Kaldogrim, we are now able to do something we haven't done in a while, and it all starts with browsing the stonemason's shop. If we look here, we have completed an easy task in the Fremnik area. We should now be able to do everything to complete the entire easy diary, so let's go and do it. Stealing something from the baker shop is another task. 5 dead rock crabs later, and that's another task in the Fremnik area completed. And then nicely within our chunk borders, we can catch a cerulean twitch for another easy task completed. Cut some oak logs and burn them for another task. Change our boots to another color for another easy task. Fill up our bucket from the well for another one. Make a tiara from scratch in the Fremnik area for another easy task. And then last but not least, we can pick up some snape grass from the Waterbird Isle for the completion of the easy tasks in the Fremnik area. Time to get our reward. We got a new pair of shoes, the Fremnik sea boots, as a reward. And with that, we can now hold more chargers in our lyre to teleport here, which is quite nice. We can also bank with Pier de Seer at all times, but I will have to actually try that because I've never done that before. Next to those 2 rewards, we only get the antique lamp, which we of course will put into Herblore. 2500 XP, that's, yeah, a little dent in our XP that we still need for AT1. But let's have a look at Pier de Seer, because during the quest you were only able to bank all of your items, not specific items, so let's have a look. Yeah, so we do have a new option. Oh wow, we actually get a menu and all. So you can actually deposit everything you want. Oh, that's actually quite nice. Might be useful if we have too many items, if we do something over here, that you can just bank everything with beer here. So yeah, not a bad reward. I was also looking at the medium diary if we could immediately complete that one as well, but we need to start between a rock because we need to mine some gold there. And between a rock is actually not possible at the current moment. As you can see, it's grayed out. And if you look what we are missing dwarf cannon. So yeah, still the one chunk over here with the dwarf cannon start of the quest. So for now, it's only the Fremennik Easy Diary that we have completed. Let's go back to our dashboard to complete it over there and see which chunk we are going to get afterwards. One diary completed. The Fremennik Easy has been completed. That was our 11th diary, almost at the 1/4 point to get rid of this orange color. And we also got the 381st landmass chunk because of that. And with that, back to the map we go. Last chunk we unlocked was the Piscatoris fishing colony. We're actually 2 chunks away from completing the entire thing here. We just need the little smidgen of land to the west of it and the entrance to the falconry area, which actually wouldn't be a bad chunk. But anyway, let's actually go and see which chunk we are going to get. Let's pick a chunk. Ooh, the island of Yatizo. I don't think we can actually do anything with just this island. I am pretty sure we need Natives Knot and actually the 2 chunks above it as well to be able to do the quest. But it's a step in the right direction. Next in line is a forgettable tale. So let's talk to Commander Veldban after we repaired the statue. Apparently the Red Axe has completely left the consortium after they did not get the vote to get the head of their director onto the statue. And something seems to be afoot as the commander wants to spy on their new headquarters, but he doesn't really know where that is. There is a drunken dwarf in Keldregrim though that seems to be talking about the Red Axe, but it seems to be like drunken ramblings, but you never know. After feeding the drunken dwarf's addiction with another beer, he says that this is not really the real stuff. He wants a Kelda Stout, a really nice and strong beer. And he gave us 1 Kelda seed, but we need 4 to actually brew one. So we will have to check in on his drinking buddies to find some more. 4 seeds obtained. Now time to plant them before we can make some beers out of them. There we go. Shout out to Studentas, who kept me company for about the 20 minutes we needed to wait. He was just done like 2 minutes ago, so let's harvest the Kelda hops and let's make a beer. Wait, we planted 4 seeds and we only get 1 Kelda hop. Okay. Another 10 to 15 minutes chat with Studentas and we finally have some beers brewed. Well, 1 I guess. Now let's go and hear that tale. And after that we find ourselves in the pub with a drunken dwarf, chugging some beer, having some kebab, but not really sure how we got here. The drunken dwarf told some really weird things, but one thing he did mention is that this was south of Keldregrim. So we are going to inspect this tunnel over here and see what we can find there. We can see the Red Axe a bit further on in the dungeon, talking to an ogre shaman and another henchman. So they seem to be up to no good. It seems like the Red Axe was behind the crashing of the boat and knocking down the statue. So that's already a bad sign. Let's go on. In the next room we can find some reports, and one is about the dwarf that we got the story from, and apparently because he was stumbling in here, he had his memory wiped by the ogre shaman, and because if you would remember something, they made him hungry for kebabs and thirsty for beer, so he would come across as a drunken fool. So they really are up to something in here. Let's go to the next part to see if we can find something. The Red Axe also seem to be in league with some gnomes. And he talks of Arposandra. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, and some Chaos Dwarves. It's never a good thing if Zamorak is mentioned. Oh, that's a bad thing. We are found. It seems like we have been put under the same spell like the drunken dwarf and we do not remember. So we have to report what we found to Commander Veldeben. We just tell him that we really love kebab and beer. And with that, we have finished the forgettable tale of a drunken dwarf. We get 2 quest points, pushing us over the 200 quest point mark. We get 5,000 farming experience, 5,000 cooking experience. Yeah, I don't think this made a dent. So, okay, but we do get 2 mature dwarven stouts, which is amazing because this is one of the items we need if we ever get a master clue step for Follow the Bard. So this is actually great to get one of those. This is to me one of the more interesting quest lines, the story of the Red Axe. Sadly, there is no continuation just yet in Old School RuneScape, so I'm really hoping they make a continuation in the near future, because this story should be really good. But for now, that was Forgettable Tale completed. Let's go complete it on our dashboard and then let's see what the new chunk is. Another quest down. Forgettable Tale has been completed. That was our 118th quest for our 382nd chunk. And then back to the map we go. Last chunk we unlocked was Yetizo. If we would unlock more of the Fremenic Isles, I really would not mind it. So let's see if we can actually make that a reality. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, some water at the very bottom of the map. Okay, we still do not have the Void Knight's outpost, so I really want to get that actually. But we are still looking for a landmass chunk, not a water chunk. That's just a reroll. So let's try again. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, yes! Oh my god, that's so big. The last chunk of the wilderness. The most important one we actually needed to be able to do the diaries, and the diaries then also unlock the wildy bosses here. Where are they? The Graveyard of Shadows, the Spindle, Vetian, Artio. Oh yes. Oh, this is actually so good. And we keep rolling good chunks, which is kind of amazing. Like, we've had a very big dry streak of not getting anything good, and now we're just rolling everything, which is, yeah, really fun to see. I don't even know what to do first. Now that I think of it, there's also the Chaos Fanatic in here, so that's another boss unlocked as well, just because of that. We can also go to the King Black Dragon for our first KC. Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of interesting things we can do now in the wilderness. The next quest we are going to do that has something to do with Keldagrim is another slice of ham, and you would think like this is a Dorgushan quest, right? But actually they are trying to build a connection, a train line between Dorgush Khan and Keldagrim. The problem is that they found some artifacts on the road where they are trying to build the railway. They don't have many archaeologists in the Dorgush Khan people, so they asked us to help look for the artifacts. Well, that escalated quickly. We have found an ancient maze in the tracks. The Dorgushan could not decipher the symbols that were on the maze, so we brought it up to the goblins here in the goblin village north of Falador. Apparently it's a holy mace, something that is being used by the strongest of the goblins, someone who has the favor of the big war god. One of the goblins there, Grubfoot, mentioned that he had a dream that Zanuck would come with that ancient mace and that she is the chosen commander destined to lead all of the goblins to rule all over the world. And now we have got pretty much the entire goblin village over here, so she can defend her case that she is actually a goblin, because she does not look like a goblin, because the Durgashen have been living underground for so long, so they changed in appearance. And in the midst of her speech, people are dying, or well, goblins are dying. There is a surprise attack. It seems that there are Ham members trying to kill all of the goblins. Time to take them out. And we're actually getting a magic level from this. That's level 89 magic. Ranger down. Time to kill the mage. And there's Sigmund battling Zanuck. And Sigmund seems very sure about his plan. He plans to put Zanuck on the new train tracks. The Durgashen will notice that the dwarven people have killed Zanuck, and then there would be a war between the two races, which Sigmund is all about, as they are not human. We followed Sigmund onto the tracks. Sigmund is using the protection prayers, but as we have the ancient mace, it is used to take away the prayers of others. So let's use the special attack. And his protection from Saradomin has been taken away. Let's Sigmund down. Let's untie Zanuck before the train comes. We just barely missed the train. Look at that pass by. And with that, we are at the end of the quest with the opening of the train, together with saving Zanuck and foiling Sigmund's plan. We get 1 quest point, 3000 mining and prayer experience, the ancient mace, which should be useful in the future, and access to probably one of the least used forms of transport within the game, the Durgashen train. Actually, I've never used this train, so I'm actually quite fond to see where this takes us. So let's just buy a ticket. Oh, we actually have a free train, great. Okay, so we can just step in. And how long does this take before? Okay, just a few seconds. And now we are in Keldegrim, but where exactly in Keldegrim are we? Oh, this is the minecarts where you can go to the Grand Exchange, and just a little bit behind we have a doorway here to get to... Huh, that's interesting. Like, I've never ever used this. It might actually be one of the fastest way to get to Durgashen. Just go to the Grand Exchange, use the minecarts to get over here, and then use the train to get to Durgashen. Yeah, might be interesting. Oh, actually, using this is a hard task in the Lumbridge Diary. Oh yeah, take the train from Durgash Khan to Keldegrim. So apparently I did use this as we needed it for the diary, but okay. You learn new things every day, I guess. But anyway, we have completed another quest, another slice of ham. So let's complete it over on our dashboard and let's see which chunk we are going to get because of this quest completion. Another quest down. Another slice of ham has been completed. 119th quest that was, and that gave us our 383rd chunk as well. The last one we unlocked was the one with the Chaos Fanatic in it. That's also going to unlock a lot of things, but we are not done yet with the Keldegrim quests. And we also have a lot of other things left to do, so I really would not mind a bad chunk. Although if we look at the map, I think everything on the right side of the map is pretty useless. But most of the things actually on the left side of the map, maybe not the Isle of Souls, but everything in the middle here, everything with the islands here, it's pretty much all good chunks. So we're actually almost done with the entire portion of the map of the mainland. before going over to the lands of Zeya and Varlamore. So yeah, we're nearing the end of the main map, but there's still a lot of things to be unlocked, so let's see what we are going to unlock right about now. Let's pick a chunk. Okay. What is this? This was not Zamurgol's fortress, this is Zamurgol fortress. I'm not really sure what this building is actually, but we have the other part of Y, so as soon as we can do the quest, we can pretty much go here. So yeah, in general, not a chunk we can use immediately, but also, yeah, it's perfectly what I asked for, so I really don't mind this. Now that we have done the another slice of a ham quest, the next quest in line is Land of the Goblins. If we look at the actual requirements for the quest, we pretty much have everything we need. But sadly, if we look at the world map, there is one very particular thing here, and that is we need to be in this goblin cave. This goblin cave is in the chunks we actually have, but we need to enter via the chunk below it. So the chunk below the fishing guild has just added another quest we can do if we unlock it. Like, this is holding back so many things. The one little chunk here in the middle of the entire map, but we still have a lot of other things to do, and there is now one quest left to do, which has a connection to Kildegrim, so let's go and do that one. On to the next quest where we needed Kildegrim. That is going to be rat catchers, and let's actually see if it is as bad as everybody says. We were talking to these two ladies in the Varrock sewers, as they are rat catchers, and they want to tell us the secrets of rat catching, but we need to prove ourselves first, and for that we need to catch 8 rats before they are going to tell us anything. And perfectly so. Your kitten has grown into a healthy cat, so that will be much easier than before, as we've had a kitten for quite a while. I really had to wait pretty much until our cat had grown up to start this quest. But let's catch some rats. After catching those rats, they gave us a rat pole and didn't really give us any secrets, and instead referred us to Jimmy Dazzler here in Ardoyne. Jimmy also does not want to give us the secret, so we need to do a task, and apparently here in Ardoyne there is a very wealthy benefactor that has a rat infestation while he is going to have a party. So as a rat catcher we need to be as discreet as possible to make sure nobody sees us. Okay, this is the worst stealth minigame in history. Like, the guard actually changes his back to us, we walk, and they still catch us. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, he was not looking our way. As a reward, we are now able to take kittens into the Ardoyne rat pits to train them. But as we have a normal cat, he says we need to go to Varrock instead, as there are other rat pits that are for older cats. Jack is a bit too busy with some rat extermination that he does not really have time for us, but we have offered our services to actually help him to make sure that we can get the training. As you can see, there's a lot of rats in this storehouse, so for that reason we have some poisoned cheese. There's now one rat left, a king rat, so we will have to send our cat into there. Now we have access to the rat pits here in Varrock. Next up, if you want to learn more about rat catching, we can go to Kildegrim, and that's why we needed the Kildegrim chunk to actually be able to finish this quest. So let's get there via the Grand Exchange. Here in the underground city of Kildegrim, they also have a problem with the rats, and well, they are really hard to get to. There are rat holes in the stone, and the only way to actually do anything about it is to actually smoke them out. With those rats exterminated, we can go to the last place in Port Sarim, as there are some rat pits over there as well. At the rat pits in Port Sarim, we also got a task to get rid of some rats, and in one fell swoop we should get all of the rats here in Port Sarim all gone. It seems like an impossible task, but we've learned some things from the snake charmer in Polnevnich, and he learned us how to use the snake charm to charm the rats instead. And there are all of the rats following us right into their death, into the water. And with that, we have unlocked all of the rat pits, and that is the end of the rat catcher's quest. We get 2 quest points and 4,500 thieving experience. They say the writing of this quest isn't the greatest. It was not bad, it was not good. The only thing that really annoyed me was the mansion where we needed to sneak around, which was just some bullshit. But yeah, we have completed the rat catcher quest. So that's another quest completed. Let's complete it on our dashboard and let's see our newest chunk. Another quest down. Let's complete rat catchers over here. For our 120th quest we have done for our 384th landmass chunk. And then back to our map. The last chunk we unlocked was the eastern part of Weiss. It was very alone, so that's one less chunk we can roll. And I've actually had a look at counting all of the chunks we can actually roll, and it comes out to be just over 30 chunks that are not water chunks. So of the 52 we can actually roll, there's only just above 30 chunks that we can actually roll, and most of them are actually not bad chunks. So in general, our luck should be improving by a lot. We still have a lot of things to do though, so I would not mind getting a not so great chunk. So let's have a look which one it is going to be. Let's pick a chunk. Ooh, the Corsair Cove. We needed this one to do the Corsair Curse quest, so that's going to be also our last free-to-play quest that we will be doing. Then we will have them all completed, so yeah, a bit expected that we would get something good. I'm pretty happy in general, like things are really progressing lately. We're getting all of the good chunks now, and we have so many things to do. We have now finally completed everything that has to do with the Keldegrim chunk. But there's one more thing I want to do before we end this episode. And as you can see, because we did a rat catcher, we have completed a medium task in the Falador area by going into the rat catcher's den there in Port Sarim. Now that means that was our actual last task to be able to complete the medium diary. So pretty much everything here is now possible, so we're going to tick all of those off. Just one thing here is that we need to make a fruit basket on the Falador farm loom. I planted a fresh willow tree, but we need to wait like half an hour to get the 6 branches we actually need to make the basket. So I'm just going to go and do all of the other tasks, and then hopefully by then we will have enough branches to do the last task. First up, we are going to pickpocket a guard in the Falador area for a medium task. Then we are going to pray at the altar of Gotex with our initiate set on for another medium task. Then we can light our bullseye lantern at the chemist in Remington for another task completed. Then we can plant down a scarecrow in the flower patch for another medium task. And if we grapple the north wall of Falador and end up at the other end, that's another task completed for the medium diary. And then if we chop some willow logs at Taverley and burn them, that is another task completed. Yeah, so the last task we need is the fruit basket, and this only took 5 minutes instead of half an hour we actually need. So what I am going to do is, you can see the heart diary. We actually have everything we need to also do that one. So I'm just immediately going to do that one and then go back to craft the fruit basket. So let's see what we need to do for the Heart Diary. Our first task is killing a blue dragon beneath the Heroes Guild for our first Heart task completion. Then we crack a save in the Rogue's Den for another Heart task. For 5,000 coins, we can change our family crest to the Saradomin 1 for another Heart task completed. Then we did a lap of the Falador Agility course for another Heart task completed. We went into the Mining Guild with our Prospector helmet on for another task. And then if we switch to our Dwarven helmet, that's immediately another task as well. If we wear full proselyte, so not the initiate we used at the Taverley Stone, we can pray at the Port Sarim church here, and that's another Heart task completed. And then last but definitely not least, we can craft some runes here for the last Heart task. And even with that all done, so we have now done all of the Heart tasks, we still do not have enough time spent to get all of the items for the fruit basket, so I'm just gonna wait by the tree, I guess, until we get that, then complete that last medium task, and then we can get our rewards for both the medium and the hard achievement diary. And then a bit of waiting later, we can weave on the loom. We want to make a basket, and that is our last task of the medium diary for the Falador area. We can go and claim our reward. But first of all, let's maybe have a look at the elite diary as well. We're kind of close, but kind of far. We are missing 88 rune crafting, which is, yeah, very far away. All of the others are not that bad. Maybe the 91 farming might take a while, but if we get some nice tree seeds, that should not be that bad. And then mix a Saradomin brew in the Falador East Bank. We are really close to the level actually, so that's not really a problem. So we're pretty much only missing two things, 88 rune crafting and 91 farming. But if we go and collect our reward, we get a Falador Shield 2 together with an antique lamp. The shield now restores 50% of our prayer points once a day, and we get a experience boost at the Falador farm. So that's going to be useful while we are doing some herb runs at the Falador farm to get up to that 91 that we need. Oh, we can also get clues more often from the guards here in Falador, so that's also nice. And we have a shortcut within the Motherlode mine we can now use. And now, immediately upgrading everything I just mentioned. We have completed the hard tasks in the diary as well. We get the Falador Shield 3 now together with another lamp. It will now, instead of giving half the prayer points once a day, it will now give a full prayer point restore once every day. We can now also use the bank deposit bonks at the crafting guild, which is kind of nice, but we don't really have a nice teleport in without having to walk there. So that's not that bad, but also not that good. And we can use the shortcut at the Heroes Guild fountain if we want to recharge our Dragonstone jewelry there. And maybe one of the bigger things that would have been very useful when we started the account, we can now use the shields to actually know where the giant mole dug to. We already have more than the 250 KC. We also have all of the combat achievement tasks done for the giant mole, I think, so I don't really think we are going to go back there, but it is a nice thing to have. And also, if we would go back for all of the bird's nests, for example, to make more brews, the skins and the claws from the mole are now noted. That are all of the rewards for our newest shields. Let's also use our antique lamps on Herblore. So with the 7500 experience from the medium diary, we are now 81 Herblore. So we can now make that Saradomin brew in the bank for the elite task. And in general, it's just nice that we can make Saradomin brews without having to boost. And then the other lamp, also on Herblore, which is 15,000 Herblore experience, which is a nice push. Still 207k XP left though, so that's still quite a bit of experience we need. But yeah, that was 2 diaries completed. Let's go back to our dashboard to complete them over there, and then we can pick 2 new chunks. I'm actually quite keen on completing this diary here, because if we complete the Falador medium diary, if we press the complete button here, we will go to 12, and you can see that the color will be changing. Yes, there we go. It is not a reddish color anymore. We have finally made it orange. And that means that now the only thing that is still in the reddish color is the combat achievements. But for the rest, you can see the account is progressing quite nicely. But anyway, that was not the only diary we completed. We completed the Falador Heart as well. For 13 out of 48 diaries now completed, and 386 landmass chunks unlocked. And then back to the map for our 2 chunk unlocks as well. The last chunk we unlocked was the one next to the Corsair Cove. We already had the Mid Guild as an unlockable chunk, so it's just one less chunk we can unlock, so the possibilities of landmass chunks has decreased once again. So let's have a look. What will be our first chunk? Let's pick a chunk. Ooh. Etc. Which is a very good chunk actually, because we can now do the Throne of Miscellanea and the follow-up quest, because we have access to both of the islands now. So yes, that is a very good chunk to unlock. We are just adding more quests to our to-do list, so yeah, cannot complain with that one. We can now unlock a smidgen of land just next to it, and some small islands, so that's 2 dead chunks we can now unlock, which I really don't mind. We have so many things to do, so many ways to get chunks, so let's just see what our second is going to be. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, going up, but that's a water chunk, so that's a reroll. Okay, let's try again. Let's pick a chunk. Ooh, another solitary chunk we can cross off. The falconry area in the Pescatores region. It's not a bad chunk, as there are some useful things here. Maybe not at the state of our account, but maybe we can find some use for this, but it's just nice that we have it unlocked. And that's where we are going to end today. Just the Caldegrim chunk gave us 4 quests and 3 diaries, and there's still more to be done. I feel like the account is on a really fast pace now, and the map is growing faster than ever before. Next episode we continue with all of the unlocks, so have a look out for that one. And for the rest, have a great day, and see you all in the next one.